right, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. Cousin Sal coming to you live with Danny Heifetz, the hype man, and Anthony Dabbundo, who we just learned was affectionately known as Snowbundo as he embarked on a meteorology career. My goodness, Snowbundo, what's the temperature? What are we expecting snow-wise in the Philadelphia area the next couple days? Let's hear it. Let's hear your best.
Yeah, I'm a retired train spotter with the National Weather Service. No longer doing that, but there was a brief foray back in the high school days into the meteorology. I used to hang out in the weather forums. I swear I wasn't a total nerd, but I was at the same time. But my friends are now betting over/under on snow totals. So that's how far we've come from this.
I know.
The total was set at 13.2 inches in Philadelphia for this big storm this weekend. I'm excited to be snowed in, watch some football, maybe watch some Australian Open tennis at ungodly hours, and learn if Heifetz can pronounce Dos Equis correctly.
Oh, that was a whole other thing. Yeah, that's if your power doesn't go out. That's always a possibility, right?
Yeah, it's a risk.
Yeah, Heifetz, what is it like when you're competing? I remember, I lived on the East Coast for half my life, but when, you're supposed to get like 11 inches or 13 inches, if you're supposed to get 11, don't you hope that you get like 25 inches? Just so you could tell your friends, or does it matter? Can you just lie to everyone anyway?
That's actually what I end up doing. We're gonna get like 6. I'm gonna tell you guys in LA that it's like 22 inches, right. And that way you're gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, you want a little diversity. It's true. I'd rather just be snowed in and just kind of pretend, I'm out here living in the wilderness, do a little cosplay.
That's right. The Ringer Gambling Show is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live and your way so you could build the best bet that fits your play. Plus, don't miss out on the NFL playoffs all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. You have to be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. That's right. All right, listen, I could talk about snow and Dos Equis for hours and hours, but we got a lot to cover. We have our terrible Ringo 107 picks. We're over 100 now, so I think we're getting close to the end. I think we have our NFL best bets. We have player props, plays of the day. Let's handicap the headlines. One headline came in just as we were chatting a couple minutes leading up to the podcast here. My goodness, is this true, Snowbundo? The Phillip Rivers is interviewing for the Bills position? Is this dumber or it makes more sense than him being a quarterback in the NFL? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I kind of support it. I think it's worth it because he has experience coaching professional high school football. He has experience playing pro football. Why not? Like, how bad could it be? Seriously.
But wait a minute. Hold on. This isn't the Browns, Heifetz, right? This is the Bills. They, I know they disappoint and everything. And now Mike McDaniel is interviewing for the Bills, even though he has a job. I think it's like plus 220. He forgot he took the Chargers DC position. But I mean, back to Phil Rivers. Is this weird, or is this just how the league is nowadays?
What's so weird about hiring the current St. Michael Catholic High School football coach to run the Buffalo Bills, whose only bar is for success is winning the Super Bowl, and everything else below that is a failure? Why would that be weird, Sal?
That's true. All right, I'm sorry. I overreacted there.
What's strong? I don't think there's any. I'm with the Bundo. Why would you make fun of this? I don't see what could possibly go wrong about hiring the St. Michael Catholic High School coach, who basically only has the job because his son's the quarterback.
This is crazy.
Whoa, are you saying he's a reverse Nepo?
I'm saying he only wants to coach because his son's the quarterback. It's like he just wants to coach his son or Josh
Allen. He got a little
Allen.
taste. He missed football. He came back. He played a little bit.
He was like my coach, someone who actually
he was like a coach
football.
out there on the field.
I think there's no way.
Sometimes the best talent is lying in wait. You don't have to follow the traditional pipeline.
He has no choice but to be a reverse Nepo. He has 65 kids. The odds are good, just like, population-wise, that one of them is going to be the quarterback.
He's like Genghis Khan. It's like in thousands of years, it's going to be like 1 in every 200 people is like related to Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. So this Bills job, I'm trying to figure out which is more interesting now. This Bills job, this coaching carousel is just insane. So I think we should take a ride. Do we take a ride or we observe it? We're not on the carousel, right? We just observe it going around.
The Giants got on with John Harbaugh, and then he kind of took them for a ride. And you know what? I think they was better off for it. So,
but now John Harbaugh,
if we had had a better year in the 107, you might have been getting calls.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm getting all different kinds of calls, death threats. But Heifetz, you can't be happy with the fact that John Harbaugh said in a press conference this morning that had he known the Bills job was open, he wouldn't have taken the Giants gig.
I think it's good because that means he's smart. But we all know he's thinking it.
Yes,
and I think it's good that he's thinking it, because if he wasn't, that would mean he is dumb. And obviously that's true.
He must hate his agent. That's what I want. I want to hear that conversation. It's like, you mother effer. What? We couldn't have waited 6 hours for this job to open up? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't a good job when you see how the owner just throws you right under the bus just on a random Tuesday in January. Let's look around here. So the Ravens hired Jesse Minter as their new head coach. He was Harbaugh's defensive coordinator, Jim Harbaugh, at Michigan. He brought him over to L.A., was the DC for the Chargers. When Harbaugh got in trouble at Michigan, he served as an interim head coach and won the first game against East Carolina 30-3. So this guy is a proven winner as a head coach, Snowbundo.
Undefeated.
Yes.
I love the hire. It's honestly, I think it's my favorite hire of the entire cycle so far.
Really?
At this point. I think when you have an offense with a Lamar Jackson, with Derrick Henry, you're pretty confident when everybody's healthy that it's going to be a pretty high floor offense. And I think those are the kind of teams when you already have your quarterback in place where you can try to, make the defensive higher, in the argument that if they're able to find the kind of defense that they had 2 years ago, 2023, when they were one of the best defenses of the last decade under Mike Macdonald, who comes from the same coaching tree as Minter does, then all of a sudden you say, oh, maybe we have a really well-rounded team. That's why I feel the same way about Buffalo. If you're a team that doesn't really have a quarterback set, or you're not really sure what your offense is, maybe you need to find the next big play caller. But when you already have the offense, when you already know you're going to be that, take the swing on the defensive guy and just assume that so long as we have Lamar Jackson and he's playing well, our offense is going to be pretty damn good.
All right. I think this is mid. I think this is like Sidney Sweeney mid kind of thing. I'm thinking here, Heifetz. What do you?
It's like
I'm not,
Ohio
I'm not
Skibbity toilet. You think?
Yeah. You love it. The Snowbundo's over the moon about it.
Yeah, no, Sidney Sweeney mid. I think that you kind of nailed it. I think the Ravens, it's them trying to do the Mike Macdonald thing. It's Mike Macdonald went to Seattle and now has the 5th best team by DVOA ever behind like the 85 Bears, and it's the same model. It's like, let's hire a defensive coordinator in their late 30s who is the counter response to the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. You have these young offensive guys that are less young now that are just changing the league, and then Mike Macdonald and Jesse Minter are the wave of defensive guys that know how to stop those offenses, and the proof is in the pudding because the two of the worst 3 games Kyle Shanahan's ever coached are the last 2 games he played versus the Seahawks.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that is just what the Ravens are trying to do. They're trying to get the Mike Macdonald magic.
I think maybe it's just the name Jesse Minter doesn't ring Super Bowl winning coach with me. I feel I put odds on what the name is more similar to. Middle school bully Jesse Minter 3-1. Soap opera heartthrob 6-1. Congressman from Louisiana 12-1. NFL head coach I think is way down there at 35-1. Jesse Minter.
I like 100. Well, Jesse Minter is actually, I like the 40-1 is head coach of St. Michael Catholic.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then he deserves the gig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could he co-coach the Bills and the Ravens at the same time? Probably not, right?
What the hell? Nothing would surprise me here, except if someone took the Browns job. Everyone is turning down this Browns job. So McDaniel turned it down. Minter turned it down. Harbaugh turned it down. Chris Shula, the Rams DC, apparently turned it down. The team is going to get fined for not meeting the Rooney Rule requirement because a minority candidate, they need 2, and 2 won't even sit for an in-person interview. Like, I don't believe this. Like, here are the minority candidates they're considering: Antonio Brown, Lupita Nyong'o, and Guillermo from Jimmy Kimmel Live, who was 8-1 to get the gig. What Dabbundo? This Joe, you
was Condi Rice not available for an interview?
She's not doing it. She won't do it.
I think the problem, Guillermo's kind of pulling a Mike McDaniel, where he kind of has a job lined up, and he's going to like, well, maybe if I get a head coaching job, yeah.
He's got his own salsa. He's going to take that to Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, they talk about like, well, how is it that 32 men can't play quarterback? Well, 32 people aren't interested in the Browns head coaching position. This is just when you think it can't get lower for Cleveland. Here we are. This is spectacular. No, not spectacular? I don't know.
I think it's even funnier to me because the coach the Browns fired, Kevin Stefanski, if they could now hire Kevin Stefanski back, they might double his salary because he was literally the second coach hired in a cycle where there's 10 openings. And they would have zero shot of rehiring him within 24 hours of firing him. So
Right.
in a way, it's the most Browns things they've ever done, other than giving the worst.
I'm gonna say
contract
Kevin
ever.
Stefanski like sprinted to the airport, cut the security line, and probably flew the plane himself to Atlanta to try to get that job, to try to get the hell out of Cleveland. And I think you're seeing a little bit of a shift. I mean, Robert Saleh took the Titans job, but just getting the head coaching job, if you're doomed to fail, you're only going to get 1 or 2 cracks at being an NFL head coach. And once you bomb the second time, you usually don't get the call the third time. So if you're somebody who's looking at the opportunity to take any job, it's like I would in a million seconds, in a half second, half second, I would take the job.
I mean, million seconds is a lot.
Million seconds.
Go ahead.
It's a lot of time. Eagles
You take
offensive
1,000 a
coordinator,
day.
better job. Chargers offensive coordinator, better job. Because you can just get your pick of the litter next year, 2 years from now. Why wait? Like, why jump to the conclusion? So I ultimately, it's simple to me.
I agree with Dabbundo. That's a good point. The Browns are in a good spot. I think
Well,
he's onto something.
To take it off the Browns for a second, okay, so there were 10 openings, I think. Now the 4 are filled, and now we're going to get to a point where nothing's going to be impressive, right? So whatever they hire is not going to be better than Stefanski and some of these other teams that fired coaches. We're not going to be wowed by any of the announcements, I don't think, coming in the next couple weeks.
Unless
Are
Phil
we?
Rivers.
Phil Rivers.
Unless
Wow
it's
with
Phil Rivers. I was wowed the other way there. All right. Speaking of coaches who've got it made, Chipotle has added Coach Signetti's I Win Bowl to its menu. It features chicken, brown rice, black beans, and a side of guacamole, which Signetti orders from Chipotle every day for lunch. And because of that, it led him to a national championship win, Indiana over Miami the other day. Wow. Dabbundo, this is, are you going to go and get the Coach Signetti Bowl because you think it'll bring good things, good fortune?
It's pretty close to my order. Now, I am not going every single day, but I do love chicken, brown rice, little guacamole in my Chipotle burrito. But I can't do everyday Chipotle. I was just reading the other day about how bad it is for you. And so now I'm a little bit concerned about Signetti. You know, he's a high stress guy. He's in a job that requires a lot of attention and focus and discipline. And he's super intense. And you combine that with what doesn't seem to be like the most healthy diet. I'm concerned. A little concerned.
Well, I don't think anything's an everyday diet, right? I mean, Heifetz, this is why I couldn't win a national championship, because this would be embarrassing for me if it came out. Like Valentino's, the pizza place down the street, the Cousin Sal special, a pepperoni pie, small mushroom and cheese calzone, and 3 mini sausage rolls. Yeah, that's what he gets for lunch every day. Yeah, so that's there's good and bad with this.
I've ordered your lunch, Sal. It's more concerning than all the picks you make, honestly.
There you go.
I feel less anxiety looking at your little sheet. My question for you is, Sal, are you technically a boomer, Sal, or are you Gen X?
I don't even know anymore. What is it?
How old are you these days?
I'm
boomer
73.
order.
I'm a 73-year-old man. Yeah.
No,
that would
I
make
know.
you the next president of the United States.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's
too
the
young.
thing with this order for Chipotle is there's no vegetables. I think it's funny that you could just get vegetables and he chooses not to. And something about your generation and above, Sal, is none of you eat vegetables. And this is very Kurt Signetti. It's a very 64-year-old man to be like, I will literally not get these vegetables every day.
Guacamole has to be a
Heifetz, what
vegetable.
vegetables are you consuming regularly? Are you a
Yeah,
big
really.
vegetable
Yeah,
man?
let's say,
Broccoli, I'll do bok choy in this thing. We do a broccoli.
Show us your six-pack. Let's
When's
see.
the last time you
I
ate
got a
broccoli?
case.
Let's see this January 6-pack. We can see. Nice. No, guacamole's a vegetable, isn't it? It's
I
not?
think it's a legume.
Well, that's what a bean.
Avocado is a superfood.
We'll figure this out.
Last time I
don't
checked.
care. I don't even want to know. I have mushrooms in the calzone. That's good enough, isn't it? All right, listen to
think
this,
so.
though. Talk about someone who's doing things in this world. Stephon Diggs, Pat's wide receiver, is rumored to have fathered 4 kids this year. His ex-girlfriend, Aileen Lopera, who is actually auditioning for the Browns job, I think. She says that a DNA test revealed that Diggs is officially the father of her child. He also recently had a child with his current girlfriend, rapper Cardi B, and he's had, 4 children. I mean, you're into this, Heifetz. You love this story.
Who among us has not had 4 kids with 4 women in a year? I mean,
One
we've all been
year.
there. You
4
know
women.
what's funny? I unironically wrote in this document that we prepare each week for the show. Stephon Diggs, my favorite prop bet this week is 90+ yards at 6 to 1. And I literally wrote man coverage. I was like, you can't cover Stephon Diggs. And I had no idea how right I was.
Right. You nailed it. Yeah. And now,
You
but
did
I haven't
too.
seen I haven't. That's pretty good. I haven't seen, these women, but isn't this just a product of an easy schedule, Dabbundo?
I was gonna say he keeps out kicking his coverage. That's why you can't cover.
All right.
It all lines. No, you're right. The schedule, it all lines up sometimes. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Yes.
They've made what, 8 road trips this year? So really, he's underperformed.
I don't have to practice.
Like, why isn't it 8?
Why practice? We have the Raiders on our schedule 4 times. They lost to the Raiders, by the way. All right, listen, let's do this. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. I'll tell you what's not going to change, Dabbundo. Our luck. 0-4 last week, 0-5 the week before. We had to go 0-9 to be tied at the bottom with House and Simmons at 43 and 56. Team Heifetz and Team Shield are tied for first at 50-49. I'm kind of glad that somebody, at least two groups now, are over 500. We'll see how long that lasts. Dabbundo, what the hell? What is going on here? Like,
you can tell how good of a guy Shield is because I was giving him a lot of razz early in the season, and he has not thrown it back at me in the last few weeks, and that's just a testament to his character.
Well, it's just pity. I mean, we're like passed out drunk in the street. Like we can't.
No,
we're
it's a
not
testament.
even conscious for it.
Shield doesn't know he's in first. He hasn't checked the standings.
That's probably it.
Oh, he's checking the standings. I see him tweeting about it every week. Don't let us get hot. They counted us out mid-season. Here he is now. But we're going for the 0-17, right, Sal?
I think we could get it. I mean, this puts us over 100, right? There's 2 weeks left in here. So we have the 2 games we pick and 2 props, which we'll get to in a second. Heifetz, who has more pressure? Us to not come in last or you guys to come in first?
I think that since you're mathematically eliminated, it's probably got to be on us. I think that I actually just focused on our magic number. I think to clear just being over 500 is, I think we got to get to 54 wins will do it. So
4-4.
Our goal is we actually think we're going to flex and we're going to make the bets we choose so unlikely that we're going to get not just if you had tailed us all season, we'll get you back into the green. That's the idea. So we're going to start flexing on you guys. We're going to do like plus 600 bets. We're going to hit those too, just to kind of hammer home the point.
That's why I pitched 20-1. If you do a 20-1, can we get 20 wins?
Well, I want the other way, like just to get off the schneid, for
bets.
God's sakes. Can we just take like Patriots Denver to not go overtime? Can we do that or something? I don't know. We need minus 2,000 the other way. So let's take a look at these lines. Denver, 4.5 point underdog. What happened? Why is that so high? Oh, their quarterback's out. Wow.
I gotta say, I gotta say, you guys are 0-9 in the playoffs. I'm sorry to interrupt, Sal. You're 0-9 in the playoffs.
And to be fair, we would have been 0-10 if we had to take all the games the first week. But go ahead.
This is a little mean, but I'll be honest. When I opened the doc and I saw that we were on opposite sides of each game, I was thrilled.
Of course. Yeah,
you should be.
Good for
so
you.
Happy.
Listen, I told Dabbundo, I was like, I want these Patriots to lose. Let's just take the Patriots. And then he talked about the middle and how we could get screwed.
If we take the Patriots, they're going to win by 3 and not cover.
Yeah, but now they're going to win by 75. I mean, because we're taking Denver. Take us through this, Dabbundo. I mean, we're in this love together, but push come to shove, I would have taken New England and then watch them get blown out and watch us go 0-11 or whatever it would have been. But I'll get you started. Pat's 0-4 versus the Broncos. Lifetime in the playoffs. Road teams that won 12 or more games in the regular season are 3-17 in conference championship games. The Pats have allowed 58 sacks. The Broncos defense has 71 sacks. So that's the highest combined total by a team and their opponent entering a playoff game, 129. And home playoff teams are 12-3 against the spread since 2018. Go ahead, take it away. I don't really believe it, but go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. The look-ahead line, which is not the be-all, end-all, but it was the look-ahead line, was Denver minus 1.5. So that is saying that Bo Nix to Jared Stidham is a 6-point downgrade. And given what he's been this season, Bo Nix, 22nd yards per attempt, bottom half of the league in efficiency, success rate, he's bottom third. He's had his moments. He doesn't take sacks. He scrambles well. He's a good backyard football player, and he's been clutch. All good things about Bo Nix this year. But this is not like a high-powered offense that we're trying to replace here. And it's still a decent running game and a good O-line. So Jared Stidham comes in. Do I trust him? Absolutely not. Do I think Sean Payton trusts him? Probably not either. But when you're dealing with this game that's low-totaled, I think it's too much of an adjustment. Like, I think it should be closer to 3. So I'm taking the 4.5. And on the other side of this matchup, I think this is the main thing. Drake May has played 3 defenses this year in the top 10, 2 of them in the last 2 weeks. And what we've seen is that the O-line is not really held up well against good pass rushes. Well, now he faces an elite pass rush. and he's taking a lot of sacks. His pressure to sack rate in the playoffs, 52%, 29% in the regular season. When he's faced better defensive pass rushes, they have gotten to him, and it has certainly thrown him off. They've gotten away with it because they played 2 inept offenses, and they might be playing a third one this week. But I think it's too many points. I don't mind first half under either, but I like Denver with the points.
Heifetz, as you mentioned, you're going against us. Your team, the winning team, has the Patriots minus 4.5 points. You don't buy any of that nonsense, Snowbundo, through your way.
Yeah, no, Tony Snowbundo. I mean, I had friends named Snowbundo too. They didn't really like the weather. But no, DK and Craig and I, we were adults. We talked about everything Dabbundo said, where we're like, there's a lot of ways the Broncos could win this game. Like Will Campbell, that left tackle, since he's came back from this MCL injury, has been terrible. Drake May fumbled 4 times. I think the stat of the playoffs might be that we're going to talk about that CJ Stroud performance forever. Drake May had more interceptions and fumbles in that game than CJ Stroud did. Like there's, Nick Bonito, the Broncos leading the league in sacks. We talked about all the ways that Denver could win. But we're adults, so we started the conversation with we're not going to bet on Jarrett Stidham, right? Then we talked for how the Broncos could win for 20 minutes, and then we decided we're not going to bet on Jarrett Stidham, and and we stuck with it. So
it's a spelling bee. It's you say the word, you spell it, and then you say it again. I think that's how it works. Yeah. This all sucks. This sucks. All right, what do you guys think though? If like Stidham goes to the defense before the game, it's like, hey, how many points do I need to score? And what do they say? They get together, they huddle like Family Feud, and then they come up with a number.
20?
What's the number? 20. Wow. Heifetz, what do you think?
You're saying the Broncos score and they win the game?
Yeah, 20. So you're keeping New England under 20, Dabbundo?
I think that's their best path.
I think the Broncos 24 points and they should win the game with the defense.
24 for Stidham gets them 24 and they win.
Yes. All right. I think that's what they're going to need, to be honest. They're going to need points.
I mean,
the Patriots
that's
are
a full touchdown less than their expected number there. I think they're 17.5, Dabbundo, I think is their over-under. So, oh, man, this is going to suck so bad.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you guys are taking the Broncos. I was worried we'd all take the Patriots and then New England would win by 3. So they'd make the Super Bowl, but then we'd all lose the bets.
I know.
I'm glad someone will win. Sal, I just think that we're destined for full circle. I have bad. Sal, I've seen the future. Can I tell you what's going to happen here?
Yeah, please. Let's hear
Full
it.
circle future. We're going to have a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. And the Rams are going to be heavy favorites with their really hot shot offensive guru play caller and the MVP quarterback and this incredible unstoppable offense with all these weapons and this like less talented Patriots team and this new quarterback and this like new head coach second year are going to come in and they're going to upset the Rams in the Super Bowl. And then you're going to be at the game with Jimmy and Jimmy's going to be happy and you're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars, hands in your fucking face. Sorry,
you son of a bitch.
Hands in your face. And then it's going to cause another 20 years of Patriots dominance.
Yeah, believe me, I said all this. This is all the Tuck rule times 20. Like what's going on with the Patriots here. I hate it all. Thank you for bringing back that very, very painful memory. But it's gonna be a painful future Sunday night when I have to sit and Simmons is gloating and be like, we can only play who's put in front of us. Like that's not true. You could miss the games. I don't know.
Schedule stuff. Yeah, they
Yeah.
Schedule the Washington Generals.
I think the worst part, I think, of this whole thing is the Patriots fans washing their hands amidst the 4 seasons of adversity and pretending like they've earned it again.
Nonsense, right? They whiffed on a first round. Imagine if any of our teams whiffed on a first round quarterback like they.
I don't have to imagine that one.
Oh, that's true. Okay, don't imagine. But then you got lucky
I'm
with
living it
Daniel
every
Jones.
day.
Like that would have been fun thing. All right, let's go to the night game, the good one. Rams catching 2.5 from Seattle. Again, yes, you're opposite us here. First of all the favorites won last weekend. And another if you include Indiana, right? So my experience is that the gambling gods aren't so giving 2 weeks in a row this time of year. So we go 2 underdogs. Dabbundo, we're not getting out of Sunday without a win. I'm telling you right now, we'll get there. I think there's too much love on Seattle right now. The Rams, we know we're not ready for that Panthers game, but they pulled it out. Defensively, they looked much better against the Bears until that nonsense at the end of the fourth quarter. Still won that game. They have grit. They know how to beat this team. Stafford had 457 yards passing against this incredible Seahawks defense. I'm not saying we're going to see a repeat performance. I don't think we'll see a repeat performance of that 4 interception game we saw from Darnold against the Rams in November. But I think it's going to be close. And I like McVay in this situation to pull out the close games like he has the last couple weeks. Here's some numbers since 2018. LA, 11-6 against Seattle, including a playoff victory. And 5 of those losses were by a total of 14 points, including 2 in overtime. The Rams are 12-4 against the number in the last 16 head-to-head and 6-1 against the spread in Seattle. That's Matt Jacob from Yahoo. 26-23 Rams. The thicker kicker gets it done, and we're all speaking Russian or whatever that was on Monday. Dabbundo, I know you like this.
Yeah, I want to start with why I'm scared of the Rams. There's two reasons. The
Great.
first one is special teams. Since 2020, the start of the decade, the Rams have lost 169 expected points from special teams. That is second worst, or that is the worst in the NFL, and they are almost twice as bad as the 30th ranked team. It's like Green Bay and the Rams, and those two teams are unbelievably bad at special teams. And Seattle, to their credit, has a clear advantage in special teams since getting Shaheed. Kicking game is more reliable. Punting game is more reliable. Kick return, as we saw on Saturday night. So that is scary. And I am terrified that there's going to be a dumb play or something absurd like the punt return that swung the last meeting that will decide this game.
Yes,
can't spot him seven.
Okay.
That's scary. Second thing is that maybe this Seattle defense is kind of peaking. They are the best defense of the last 5 years by EPA per drive. And I don't love the matchup for the Rams running game against what is a historically good run defense. However, we are on the Rams, and I just think it's just a little bit too much in terms of market love here. Like, I think they played 2 coin flippy games this season. They're probably going to play a third one in this game. I don't see a ton to separate them overall, so I'm taking the 2.5. And I'm holding my nose, and I'm saying, you know what? Stafford can throw it on this secondary. They had a ton of success using the tight ends in the last meeting. Seattle likes to stay in there too high, opens up space for the tight ends to potentially maneuver the middle of the field. That's where the advantage is. They went after Eamon Wari pretty effectively in the last meeting. I think that's where they attack again. So I'm going to go Rams 2.5. Don't feel great about it. I don't think you can. I mean, how could you feel great? We're 0-9, but Rams for me.
All right. Now, Heifetz, you're a professional, and your opinion is just going to be based on, we're not going against our buddy Danny Kelly. That's it? That's going to be your analysis for this game?
Yeah, well, that analysis is running circles around your guys' analysis right now.
All right, let's hear it.
I mean, defense wins championships, and the defense will win this game. And if it's the Rams defense that's able to pull it out, Kobe Turner's kind of rocked Gray Zabel on the Seahawks rookie guard last time they played. And I think Kim Curl's going to be kind of like what Jaquan Brisker was against the Rams last week at safety. I think they're going to get pressure on Darnold. I think the Rams are going to blitz Darnold more in this game. So I think defense is going to win. But I just think the Seahawks are a historic defense. And, people are cautious to label things that way until they actually win a championship. But, I mean, by any metric you want to pick, this Seahawks defense is doing things that haven't been done since the 2000 Ravens. And I'm not going to put anyone in the category of the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears, but that is what the Seahawks defense does. I mean, they haven't given up a 20-yard play in like 6 weeks. I think the Seahawks defense is, if they win the Super Bowl, we will look back and say they are a historic
Why
defense.
is everyone disregarding the 457 that happened a month ago?
Right, exactly.
It wasn't in September. It was 4
It
or
was
5
6 weeks ago. It was the last time
that's where he
saw a
starts
20-yard play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's, yeah, I totally understand. I don't blame you guys taking the Rams. I mean, yeah, I'm terrified to take the Rams because Matt Stafford, when he throws it right, is unguardable. I think his no-look passes are unguardable. The Puka Nacua, the catch radius with Stafford back, it's unguardable. But I agree with Dabbundo. It's kind of like baseball where, these things that pop up during the regular season, the holes are exposed during the playoffs, and it always comes back around. A bullpen here or whatever. It is... The Rams lost that Seahawks game among 2-point conversions and Zach Charbonnet picking up the ball and all those things aside. Well, they missed a 48-yard field goal. And they allowed a punt return. And those things do have a way of coming back around. And it is hard for Super Bowl teams to have giant holes in special teams. Those don't work. And the Seahawks are better. Obviously, Sam Darnold could throw 4 picks again and melt down. And it's weird to take the Seahawks in a game where I actually can't remember the last time a quarterback's mental resilience felt so important to the game. But Seahawks special teams is awesome. The punt return, the kick return, the punt defense, the Jason Myers, the kicker, who outdid Nico Collins for portions of the season. If you'd taken Jason Myers in the first round of your fantasy league, you might have won your league. The Rams, it just feels like their biggest weakness, and so you just need Stafford to be superhuman with Puka in this game for them to win.
Yeah, it's the monster lurking under the bed. You know it's there. You know it might come out. It might not, but when it does, you'll be kicking yourself. And that's how I felt watching Packers and Rams playoff games for the last 4 years. But I will say, like, McVay, 2023, the Ravens had a historically good defense. And guess what? McVay put up 31 on them when they were with the Rams.
He's phenomenal.
This year,
the best 2 teams in the league.
To address the the obvious special teams issue. Should McVay say, hey, should all kicks, aside from extra points and field goal attempts, should they all go out of bounds? Let's just kick it out of bounds. Let's miss the landing zone, whatever that is. Let's let them start at the 35, the 40. That's better than what, the awfulness we saw. Why not? Punt it out of bounds. Guys should punt it out of bounds anyway, by the way.
Well, they just have to not get the punt blocked. They've struggled with the punt blocks too.
Yeah, right.
The field goal blocks.
Field goal block. They almost block some kicks. I agree, Sal. They should just kick it out of bounds. Throw it out of bounds. Just do everything out of bounds.
Get everything out of bounds. You're fine.
Forget offense.
Darnold
They should just take knees.
They should wait for Darnold to pull he goes full Stroud. You never want to go full CJ Stroud, but just kick everything out of bounds, throw everything out of bounds, and wait for Darnold to go full Stroud.
There's one player in the two games that I don't want to say is a lock to make the Hall of Fame should he advance this week, but pretty strong. And that's Drake May. No, it's Matthew Stafford. Don't we think he wins this game? He's in, regardless of the result.
I think he's in either way.
Either way, but first ballot if he wins this game. Or is he already first ballot, Heifetz?
Well, I mean, if they win the Super Bowl, then the list of quarterbacks to win 2 Super Bowls is actually like incredibly small. And the combination of all his other, frankly, his statistical achievements when it was on the Lions was an oddity. And then now it's on the Rams. There's a legitimization to it. But even just if you go 1-1 in the Super Bowl, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Now he has to probably compete now with Philip Rivers, who we have to see how this coaching career turns out, shakes out.
Stafford wins the Super Bowl, retires, and gets inducted to the same class as Stafford. It's Phil Rivers.
Okay.
Phil Rivers, head coach. They're going to need an OC, right? He probably doesn't have a particularly developed coaching tree.
Oh, right.
So what if Matt Stafford becomes the OC?
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback? Who becomes the quarterback's coach?
Davis Webb. If Rivers made like the athletic director of that high school his OC, like this, let's just see how crazy we could get this going on.
Watch Phil Rivers' sons just be the coaching staff and the players. They're not old enough to get drafted, so you let them
grad assistants
to play.
Yeah, right. You got the whole thing. All right, listen. Today's Ringers 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. We're actually not done with our 107 picks. We're going to give you the prop bets on the other side of the break. Let's take that break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. The Ringer Gambling Show. Tony Snowbundo, Danny Heifetz. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Anthony Snowbundo, Danny Heifetz. Let's do this. More Ringer 107 picks. We had to pick 2 props, and there's going to be lots of props. We have the Ringer pregame show on Sunday. Check that out. But the Bundo, let's go with R2 in our quest to pick up our first win in the 107 postseason. Let's do it. What do you like?
Our guy, Marvin Mims, over 2.5 rush yards. It's so perfect. It's one of my favorite bets to sweat. You wait all game. You just hope and pray that at some point he comes in motion. And then you're thinking, oh, they might jet sweep it. Then they don't. But then they come back later in the third quarter and they give him a jet sweep and he gets 4 yards. And then there's a comment on the broadcast. Tony Romo's talking about all this deception from Sean Payton. And meanwhile, you just cast your bet.
Yeah, I like this, but it almost seems like too easy if you approach this with the how do we get yards without depending on Jarrett Stidham game plan, right? Like, okay, yeah, this has to happen, but it's plus 106. We're going with it. I do like it. Kobe Parkinson is going to be our second one for the 107. Over receiving yards, 22.5 at minus 114. He leads Rams tight ends with 7 targets per game. He has a 44% route participation, which I think is pretty good. And the Seahawks have allowed the 5th most receptions and 6th most receiving yards to tight ends this season. Now, they have a bunch of tight ends. We get it, the Rams. So every time you look up, it's a different big white guy catching the ball. But last 4 weeks, he's gone over 33 yards. Just another Stanford tight end. I think Heifetz lighting up the box score. Zach Ertz, Austin Hooper, Dalton Schultz, to name a few. Parkinson, over 22.5, minus 114. Do you like any of those before you launch into yours?
I like these a lot. I actually think you'll hit both of these in the first quarter of each game. I think Marvin Mims, there's a chance. I think you're going to hit Marvin Mims on the first drive. I think they're going to have a jet sweep to Marvin Mims or just hand it to him out of the backfield.
You see what he's doing, Sal?
Of course I do.
You see what he's doing, right?
I've been around this forever.
He's going to text us midway through the third quarter, be like, it's interesting. I haven't heard Mims' name called very much at all.
This is how we lose this prop, Dabbundo. Mims, first play of the game, 7-yard carry, right, end the round. Don't hear from him the whole rest of the game. Somehow Denver's winning, but Stidham gets hurt, and Mims is the backup quarterback. We didn't know this, and he takes 3 snaps, big kneel downs at the end, and that's how we lose. That'll be fun. Let's lose it that way.
They're gonna do 2 end arounds for a total of 2 net yards.
Right. All right. Sorry, Heifetz. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. Tell
We're
me more
beating
about
down
you guys.
men.
How's the Parkinson one going to lose? Tell me that one.
Same thing. He'll take
open.
kneel downs to 24.
Wide open in
Yeah.
the zone,
Yeah.
and Stafford
Yeah.
will throw it over his head.
No, I do like those bets. I think the other ones we have. So Drake May over 30 rushing yards. This was funny. We kind of decided this one in probably 9 or 10 seconds. We were like, Drake May over. Yep. You guys are going to hate us. We chose this without knowing the number. We literally he's
this
gonna
is
go
chocolate ice. This is just everybody. Everybody
I-
likes this every week.
It's sometimes the squarest bets of all actually really win very
Okay.
easily. This was Mahomes for 7 years over rushing, and Drake May is going to be the new version of it, where it's like the numbers say this. Well, in the playoffs, I just think it's true. It's like they did not have Drake May as a design runner nearly as much as you think, and I think they're going to have design Drake May runs in this game, and he's going to scramble, and like it's a mix of man coverage. Will Campbell he's going to be running for his life, but I think there's going to be more design runs for Drake May in this game than you've seen probably all season. And then we have Rashid Shaheed for the Seahawks over 23.5 receiving yards. And I know what you're thinking. It's a lock. He's done it once, twice in 3 months. So, once every 4 games he does it. Hasn't done it in a month. So, he's due.
Yeah, right.
January. But no, I actually do think this will hit, but we mostly did it for the bit because we thought you guys would all make fun of us. Mm-hmm. And I also think this bet will hit in the first quarter. And on a single catch, we will get Rashid Shaheed over 23.5 yards. And he's done it literally twice in 10 weeks.
I am
Let's
not
take
afraid
this,
of Shaheed, the receiver. I'm just having nightmares about kick returns and punt
Kick
returns.
return, everything out of bounds. It'll be fine. Dabbundo, what let's take a note for next year. God forbid we do this 107 thing again, and we're partners. But let's do it for the bit because it seems to get you over 500 rather than a painstaking hour and a half, 2, 3, 4 hour phone calls that we go through trying to figure out.
I mean, we were basically
which
taking the
game is the day.
SATs yesterday, Sal. We did like 3.5 hours on the phone.
Yeah. It's the SHI.
You guys actually spent 3 hours on this?
No.
Talk for about 20 minutes off
2.5.
air.
Yeah,
Remember, all I'll say, remember when Sal, you made fun of me for the flip week, and if you guys had just flipped your picks and been humble, you would be 9-0 in the first place.
I know. We like them so much, though. It's
Did
so
we?
hard.
That's the problem. That's why we flipped it.
We
I
don't
don't
even
even know.
like them, though.
I don't know.
No, Seinfeld. If every instinct you have is wrong, then
That's
the
right.
opposite must be true.
We
That's
got a
what we did.
Costanza the season. We have to do it. It just becomes complicated then. Like then
There's
how do
no
you analyze
integrity.
anything?
There's no
Right.
integrity. Sal and I are men of integrity. We will.
Yeah.
I would rather lose with dignity than win with nothing.
Yes, I have integrity. I'm painting the top of my eyelids and putting makeup on during the commercial breaks. Of course. Look, we're gonna do it again
That's
here.
true.
Dabbundo.
That's what
like-
we're gonna say when
I
we're
left
winning.
my lip
We're
balm in the car.
When we're sipping pina coladas on this Vegas trip we made Bill send us to when we won, we're going to be sitting there thinking, you know what? If only we had lost with integrity.
Yeah, you might think that. I've seen you guys in Vegas. No, what was that? Louisiana? I don't know.
Yeah.
Same
Oh, my
thing.
God, yeah.
All right. So, I mean, these guys were drunk, holding each other, Dabbundo, at the table. They bet what was the dumb?
We were playing
dumb bet
craps,
wins.
and we
Yeah.
had speaking of dumb bets, yeah, that's been
Yeah.
the theme of our years. We were playing craps, and we had big ones. It's like you have to hit, what is it, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12
Yeah.
before you get a 7, and we hit that one all 30-1. And we won a ton of money, but if only we had lost with integrity.
Exactly.
No, you did. You definitely didn't have it. I mean, they were hugging each other for like 2.5 hours. Now I know booze played a part in this, Dabbundo, but they really were. They had I think they were like auditioning for the gay hockey pilot or something. I don't know what was going on there, but what was it like? Every number before 7, right? You can't even say
You
7.
literally have to hit every single number except 7. And this is the thesis of this is how we went into Ringer 107 is like the difference is you guys are smarter than us,
Right.
but we're going to fuel this with the power of love. And
I see. All right.
and,
It's a
the
curious
hockey
thing.
show, it's everything.
So Sal, what is
As,
our power? What do we have?
I
Weather.
don't know. We our power of
A friendship
flexibility?
of pasta, of Italian degeneracy. I don't even know.
You're good at predicting the weather, I guess. That's
I used to be,
that's
not
it.
anymore. That was a long time ago.
So we have a couple extra props here. Go ahead, Dabbundo. You have this Sammy Darnold. You're not confident he's going to be able to do it with his legs.
No, I don't think he wants to. I think he's still got that oblique thing that potentially could flare up. Under 6.5 rushing yards for Sam. I think this is a classic situation where he will not leave the pocket unless he's absolutely required to. And if he does, it will be to throw the ball away and avoid hits at all costs. So don't see a ton of running for Darnold. Rams do play more zone than they do man. So also limits quarterback running potential. And so I took some under rushing for him.
Okay. That's fun.
I had to have one under, Sal. I mean, we did a whole podcast.
No, I know.
I haven't said the word under yet.
Killed you. This is a brutal 41 minutes for you so far. All right, Heifetz, what's your bonus here?
My bonus, well, it's so funny. I actually emailed FanDuel and asked if they would do this. I think RJ Harvey's going to throw a pass.
That was so pathetic.
I know it was. It's sad because they rejected it. I thought if they said yes, it'd be cool, and they said no, and it was kind of a loser. But no, I think this is a kitchen sink game, as Bill would say from the Broncos. I think it's going to be a weird mix of conservative with testing actually Christian Gonzalez downfield, Cortland Sutton. I thought about Sutton over 4.5 catches. I think Sutton could have a big game. It's plus 130 actually over 4.5 catches. But the real one, I think that this is going to be Sean Payton as the guy who kicked an onside kick in the Super Bowl. Like crazy stuff. Right. I think RJ Harvey, who was a quarterback in college, the Rookie running back, is going to throw a pass in this game. And I think that he threw a pass earlier in November, and I think he's going to throw a trick play, and I wish I could bet on that. But you can't. So instead I would do Stephon Diggs, who, again, as we discussed, you can't cover Stephon Diggs. Hasn't been covered really all year. And, maybe could have created more separation, but hasn't created enough separation. But I think Diggs.
But the penetration, though, once he gets past the
penetration, the bend, the finish, it's pretty unrivaled. And so I think the way Parker Washington with the Jags had like 145 yards actually on McMillan, who ironically had that pick over Brandon Cooks. I think Diggs is going to be on McMillan in this game, and he might like 125 yards for Diggs in this game is I think 20-1. But I think that he's going to be the slot in this game, and you're going to attack McMillan, the safety, who had that interception because he got beat on the play.
So you're saying 90 plus is plus 630?
90 plus yards for Diggs is 6-1, and then I think a ladder for Diggs yards. I just think there's a chance that Josh McDaniels, who has coached 10 AFC Championship games, is going to look at the Jags footage because the Jags destroyed Denver in Denver. That's like the blueprint, and the blueprint was Parker Washington out of the slot and out, putting him on McMillan, the safety, who made that play. And again, the point was he got the weird pick because he was trailing, but he got beat. Josh underthrew that pass. I think Diggs is going to be on McMillan in this game, and he could have 130 yards. And 130 yards for Diggs is 20-1.
All right. But you don't think like the lack of sleep. I mean, he's got all these children. He's right in there, rolling his sleeves up, preparing them in the middle of the night, feeding, whatever he needs to do. You don't think that's going to affect him?
He had 4 kids with 4 women at Christmas this year. That seems way harder than having 130 yards in the AFC Championship.
That is a lot. Should we change the 12 Days of Christmas song? I think to make it Stephon Diggs friendly. All right. I wanted to ask you guys before we go to break again, if you were to make a interception parlay with all 4, yes or no for each, Jared Stidham, yes is minus 176. Which way would we go with that?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Because no screens, the pass is going to get batted.
No, Dabbundo, not one of its 24 passes is going to go on.
Nope, he's only going to attempt 8. It's like I told you, Jimmy G style.
All right,
Kendall Hinton attempted 9.
You're overruled. It's 2-1. We have yes. Drake May interception. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we put fumble in there for Drake May? He fumbled 4 times last week.
I know we should be able.
And somehow I think they recovered 3 of them, right?
I know. Fumble but not lose it.
Let's go to the other 2. Sam Darnold interception.
Of course.
Yeah. Matt Stafford interception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if you go all 4 yes, you can't combine it. Okay, never mind. That was ridiculous.
The greatest segment in the podcast history.
All right, listen. If you rolled them over, I don't know.
Wait. Does RJ Harvey throwing an interception? Maybe we'll do that.
Yes, that's an automatic no. Actually,
Marvin Mims.
It would be about 8-1. I think they'll eventually let you. Why couldn't you? One's not dependent on the other. That's ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, let's take a break. More ridiculous. We have Aussie Open plays. We're gonna do that. UFC 324. That's fun. When we return, Ringer Gambling Show. Stay with us. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz, cousin Sal here. Let's do some Aussie Open. Let's do some UFC 324. Good stuff going on. Boy, Dabbundo, these parlays, I made a 6-player tennis parlay and carries over. And now I just need Inter to win. That is not tennis. That's soccer. For a big, I think like 30 out of 32 on Tuesday, men's and women's favorites came in, which is great for me. But what are your thoughts overall on this, and who's your pick for Friday?
Yeah, it's been an incredibly chalky tournament. I mean, usually the Australian Open plays to a little bit less chalk early in the season. A lot of the top players maybe aren't in top form yet. They're kind of working their way into the new season. Not been the case. I mean, almost all of the top 16 seeds on the men's side are still in. The women's side loaded with favorites. So it creates some really good matchups. Great weekend to be snowed in with nothing better to do than to watch tennis all night. So I'm excited to become nocturnal for a few days here. As far as today, I'm going to go with Lorenzo Musetti, -2.5 games against Tomas Machac. Look, Machac is a really solid baseliner. He's a perfectly respectable high floor player. Musetti coming into the tournament had some real question marks about his form. And in the first round, he looked kind of shaky, but I do think he's kind of played his way into better form here. He looked incredibly sharp in the second round. And Machac just doesn't have the weapons to beat Musetti at his own game. Musetti, in some ways, is just a better version of the baseline grinder that Machac wants to be. So I think it's a bad matchup for him. I'm going to go Musetti -2.5 games. You could also take the money line, but that's like -160. That's boring. So,
all right,
Musetti.
I'm gonna
Speaking
go
of Musetti, sorry to cut you off, Sal.
That's
Just so
okay.
you guys know, my fiance and I, my hall pass is Dua Lipa, and my fiance's hall pass is Lorenzo Musetti.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
He's a very good-looking man.
Very hot Italian.
That hall
man.
extends overseas. I wonder how she's going to make that happen. That's interesting. All right, but either way, wow, what are you doing? So Heifetz, I like this. It's a big parlay with all the favorites. It has not really bitten us in the ass yet.
No, my 2 Australian Opens things, which is the American parlay. I don't know if you guys know. I feel like we're in an America first kind of environment. So if that's your vibe, I mean, I think just Jessica Pegula, who, her father had a great press conference this week for the Bills, really solved everything going on
Dynamite.
there, so I figured I'd roll with the family. But if Pegula wins, Ben Shelton, Taylor Fritz, Madison Keys, and I'm counting Naomi Osaka since she lives in like Beverly Hills. So if you go with those 5 Americans, it's basically even money to win, and they're all going to destroy everybody. And my only concern is Ben Shelton kind of melting down sometimes, but I'm not really, I mean, all these people are going to win.
I was looking at their opponents, and you didn't even attempt to say any of their names, and probably wise. I mean,
I was hoping.
Other than Varinka, I mean, look, Pegula versus Oksana Selikomitova, you know what I mean?
That's pretty good.
Carolina
job.
Pliskova.
Pretty close.
Madison Ingles. You know what? Look, do I know any of these people other than Oksana and Stan Wawrinka, who I think is 60 years old? He's as old as you. He probably doesn't eat vegetables. So
How dare you?
no.
All
But
right,
the other one,
USA.
honestly, Yannick Sinner to win the tournament without dropping a set. It's 12-1. And I just can see that graphic already in the final.
Ooh, I don't know.
So he'll give a
tough ones
charity
coming
set
up.
to Alcaraz. He always does, but
There you go.
But that's my
I-
point, is at that point, you're close.
12-1. Exactly. Yeah. I will say I was really excited to see Heifetz pronounce Oksana Selamatova to see if he could get it. And he was pretty
I think
close.
he did it. He did
Pretty
it
close.
You're just close enough you can fake it, but Selamativa, I just call her Oksana.
It's
Honestly,
all
I
those
thought Oksana was
vegetables.
the
That's
last
how he does it. All right, I am going with Marine Chilik. The bundle's like, no, say Celic, say Celic. I'm like, no, it's Chilik. Plus
it's
210.
celiac.
It's not even Chilik.
Celiac.
What is it? Celiac?
Chilich.
Chilich. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Disease. Gluten.
Plus 210 over Casper Ruud. 0 for 4 against Ruud, but he's taken 2 sets from him and forced 2 tiebreakers. And a couple of those matches were best of 3. So Chilich painting the
All right,
lines like
Chilich.
he's 10 years younger. He actually is 10 years older than Ruud, but he's playing like he's
No,
younger.
Chilich is on the tennis card. Rude's on the UFC fight.
Can
Dude,
we
what are you talking
parlay Rivers?
Can we get through this effing segment so we can talk UFC in 45 seconds because you idiots are making 18 parlays? Can we do that? Can
I
we
just wanted
that?
to do Rivers to be next Bills coach, parlay with Pegula to be the Aussie
right.
Open champion.
Great job. Over 4.5 sets is plus 270 if you want that, but I think take the Croatian at plus 210. UFC 324. Go ahead, Heifetz. You know so much. You're stealing my pick from Tuesday with Tate. Gaethje Pimblett ends in KO. Go ahead.
Gaethje, Patty Pimblett. This is a fun one to not be on pay-per-view, and it's like these are fun fighters. Justin Gaethje is a maniac. He just does leg kicks and tries to knock people out. I mean, this game it's going to be a knockout, and knockout or TKO is like plus 180, 2-1. Do that, crack a beer, watch it on Paramount Plus, get a free subscription if you want. Just these guys are going to. There's no chance this is going to a decision.
Yes, get a vegetable beer. That's what Danny Heifetz recommends. He endorses. All right, how about Waldo Cortez Acosta against Derek Lewis? What a fun. This Derek Lewis is so much fun. I'm going under 1.5 rounds at plus 106. A salsa boy, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Last 2 fights didn't even last a round. We know Derek Lewis, 4 of his last 6 didn't go a full round. He likes to win early and then rub his tuchus in his opponent's face. That's what he does. One's 34, the other's 40. Neither has the patience or likely the stamina for a lengthy battle. Under 1.5 rounds, plus 106. Yeah, it's going to be a nice Saturday. You guys are going to be snowed in. You can be watching fights. Dabbundo, I know you don't like UFC. Get this. It's not a pay-per-view, right?
Oh, if it's free, I'm in. I'm always in for free.
Well, you got the soccer on the Paramount, right? So we know you have the Paramount Plus. Okay, so there you go. We got it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, one thing less to do. Friday, best bets. We'll do it on the other side of the break, Ringer Gambling Show. All right, we're back, Ringer Gambling Show. Just enough time to give you our Friday best bets. Let's start with Tony Tokens, a winner last week with Boise State -5.5. They win by 6. That's enough. That covers. What you got tonight?
Yeah, we're going back to the well, trying to make it 4 straight Mountain West Friday night, late night classics. Heifetz is just shaking his head in disgust. But look, there's very few things I know about in this world. The Mountain West college basketball is one of them, and I'm sticking with Colorado State again, +4.5 at home. Tricky road trip for Utah State, but really ultimately, I think the main key here, Colorado State taking advantage of a pretty mediocre perimeter defense for the Aggies. They shoot the ball incredibly well at Moby. It's going to be a close game.
All right, Heifetz. Wow, OKC a giant favorite. You say not big enough over Indiana.
No, I mean, so the Thunder's odds to win the titles right now are 1-1, and the Pacers' odds to win the NBA championship are 1,000-1. So they're literally 1,000 times better than the Pacers, and yet
wow,
you can put $100 down and win $10. So you know you can make 10% in a year in the S&P 500, and that's a good year. You should put your life savings down on the Thunder to beat the Pacers, and you make 10% one day.
I got bad news for you, Heifetz. It just moved to -1,100, so you're gonna lose.
Oh God, boo-hoo! Sorry, an 8%.
Best Nets +8.5 over Celtics. They lost by like 1,600 points to the Knicks. Boston 2-4 against the last 6 against Brooklyn. Brooklyn 4-1 last 5 at home. Let's take the 8.5. That's it for Ringer Gambling Show. For Tony Tokens and Danny Heifetz, I'm Sal saying so long and happy handicap. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York.